Hey guys.
Happy Sunday. So we're busy spending time with family, but we've pre-recorded several room tours for you guys, and we're going to start this week with a tour of the downstairs bedroom. Now this is a space that you've never seen before, and this is also the room that we've been keeping the color under wraps. So today is the day for the big reveal. So you ready to show them our room?
Let's do it.
All right. Hi guys. So it's very early in the morning. I have about 15 minutes before we have to run to the airport to pick up Aaron's family. I wanted to give you a quick tour of the downstairs bedroom and finally reveal the room color. So if you've already noticed, this room has a green theme. So we have the pink room in the Jeep, and we have this ground floor bedroom in the house, which we have themed out in all green. Okay, so as I mentioned, it is very early in the morning and it is a pretty overcast day. So you're getting a moody look of what this room is like at night. So it does get great light during the day, but I guess the advantage of shooting it with this cloudy, overcast day is that you get to see all of the ambiance of the lighting in the room. So I think it's a win either way. All right, so let's get to it because as I said, I've got about 15 minutes to show you the space. I will show you the overall room and then point out some of the details, how we source things, what we've paid for things, because as usual with us, most of the stuff that you're seeing in here was purchased secondhand. So as with any of the bedrooms in this house, they are quite large, which we love. Instead of having a ton of bedrooms in the house, we have a more reasonable number of very large proportioned rooms, which is great because it's given us space to have a bedroom area and a sitting area in each room. So we're very happy with that. All right, so let's start with the bed. So it took me months and months of searching online until I finally found this headboard. And you may remember when I showed it to you originally, it was kind of a whitewashed effect, which looked great outside in natural light and looked kind of dingy when she got it in the house against these rendered walls. So I chose the green for the room and then painted out the headboard. And hopefully you'll be able to see in this early morning light on our cloudy day. But we've got a lot of carved details on the bed, which is very pretty. And so I went with this sort of sagey green because I had already picked out the bedding, which I will show you here in a minute. And so it pulls out the greens in that bedding. All right, now I needed a set of nightstands for this room. And by now you've probably heard me say that it can be quite difficult to source matching nightstands. Somehow we did in this room. We walked into a thrift store that we really only visited a handful of times. And on that day, they had not one, but two sets of matching nightstands. And they were only wanting €10 a piece for them, which is a fantastic deal because 30 a piece is really much more common. So we snatched them up. They're solid wood. They were in great condition. And if anything, the only flaw, if you can call it that, was that they kind of had a dated colored finish. It was sort of an orangey tone to the stain. So I painted these out green to match the headboard, and now we have a nice set for this room. So very happy with that purchase. Now, lamps have also been a major project for us, trying to create lamps, especially pairs of lamps for rooms. So I originally purchased this lamp over here, which has a crackle finish. I don't know if you'll be able to see that this morning, but the lamp itself needed to be rewired. It was quite old. So Mr. Huff took care of that for me. And then I managed to find another lamp, while a slightly different shape, that has the same crackle finish. These were each purchased separately from consignment stores. And then I came across this pair of lampshades at a vide grenier, and that has allowed me to tie those two together to create a set for this room. So that was a very inexpensive project. And I should mention, he did actually, Mr. Huff, rewire the second lamp for me as well. So he has done quite a bit of lamp rewiring since we've gotten here. Okay, now an unusual feature of this room is that we have these two support posts here that run on either side of the bed, and you can see we have a beautiful exposed ceiling, which makes this room very special, but it is or could be a bit of a design challenge as well. So I suspect when they renovated the house that they specifically put these poles spaced as they did to accommodate what is essentially a queen size bed. So this is a 160 by 200, and you can see it just fits between the two posts, but it would not fit if you were to use a bed with side rails or any of that. So you really need a bed that is just a headboard. So to work with that, but still have the effect of a footboard and to add a little bit of functionality to the room, we pulled this bench out of the barn. It had been stained or probably varnished, like a really orangey color. It's not the cutest. It is, however, a very sturdy bench, and I love some of the lines of it. So I painted that out with some warm beige. This is the same color that we've used in other places, like in the bathroom, which you'll see soon. So this gave us basically the effect of a footboard, because you can see it's really pretty much the width of the bed, and then gives us that added functionality for someone to be able to sit down, to put on socks, or to give a spot for someone to stick their suitcase if they need to dig through things. Okay, so because the washers in France are quite small, which I will have to do a video about soon, because laundry in France is definitely different than it is in the US. But because of that, I have opted to do kind of the more European thing, which is to put two twin duvets on beds rather than one, say, queen double duvet. So this is my hope that then we can wash things ourselves in our own machine versus having to take them somewhere. And like I said, that is a whole video in itself to show you how laundry works here. So we will do that sometime soon. But anyway, it took me quite a while to find the bedding for the room, and hopefully you can see that in today's lighting. It's a very subtle pattern, sages and grays and a little bit of cream. This is a original William Morris design that has been recreated in partnership with Zara. So I loved the history of it. It felt very appropriate to the house and all of that, but also it was affordable, which was great because bedding can be astronomical. So got a great deal on that. I did have to pay 50 euros, guys, for the bed skirt. There didn't really seem to be a way to get around that. But there it is. I tried to keep that in a neutral color so that it will always work in this room, even if we change things out along the way. Okay, so some of the elements in this room are things that we purchased from the previous homeowners, which would include this armoire here. So it's a great solid piece of furniture. And I just added a set of hangers so that if people want to unpack, if our friends or family are going to be staying for a bit, that they've got room to kind of unpack and settle in. So that's a piece we purchased from them, as is this little Parisian buffet here. So they were using it in the same manner, just as a place for a TV, and it works great for that. So we have done the same. I have, since we've moved here, I have waxed it with beeswax, and it's just a great piece of furniture. And it was something that we didn't have to bring in and haul and deal with all the logistics of that. So happy to buy that from them. Okay, now this sofa, we didn't find this until about 2 weeks ago. And again, I wish it were a brighter day, but this is a green velvet vintage sofa. It has the best fringe. Check it out. And it is super comfortable and impeccably clean. We found this at a consignment store for 90 euro. The color and size was just perfect for this room. You can see, I mean, it has a lot of seating, but it's still a small footprint. So it was really like the perfect size for the space that we were looking for. And the best part is that it is actually a sleeper sofa. So with the idea of our family growing over time, with our kids having their own families and all of that, we're trying to build in maximum beds in the house. So this now takes a room that can sleep 2 and turns it into a room that could sleep 4. So we love the added functionality. And I don't remember if I've mentioned, but we did pay like 90 euro for that. So that was, I think, a fantastic deal, and it really brought the space together. And this is that little coffee table that you saw we purchased just a couple weeks ago for 8 euro. It's solid marble top, so that was a great deal. And the small scale of it was also perfect for creating a little sitting area in this room. And now in terms of some of the other details, this weather vane was a gift from Mr. Huff. I think it was an anniversary gift. It could have been another occasion, but I absolutely love it. It's a copper weather vane. We had it on the landing in our old house, and it just felt perfect in this room. Now, something that I absolutely love about this house is all of the built-in niches. Now, this room has 2 of them. This one here, which I have decorated with this glass bottle. Now, these normally sell for 25 euros a piece used. I managed to get this one for 15 because somebody had turned it into a lamp, which you've seen us do the same thing in our living room. But this was very, very old wiring, so we simply popped it out, and then I added these grasses just to create a little bit of color for our niche here. And the other niche is over here on this wall. And you may have noticed it or may not when I was showing you the buffet. So we've got this stone niche here, and I've got one of my little pineapples that was something that I had brought with us from the US. And check out this wall. So the wall that you see from the bed is this beautiful stone wall. So lots of French vibes. And the bottom portion of the wall is lime render, as is the floor in this room. So kind of a unique space. We don't have any other rooms in the house that have this. But yeah, it just has such a cool, cozy vibe. And I was really hoping for a rug for this room. I didn't expect it to come together before his family got here, because I wanted specifically to put down a outdoor rug, since this is a ground floor room. Normandy is a bit humid. I didn't really want a rug collecting moisture. So I found this one at our favorite consignment store. Really felt like a bit of a miracle, because I really didn't think that was going to come together. But perfect colors for the room. The size is decent. I will probably keep an eye out for a larger format rug to put in here at some point. But for now, this is definitely doing the job and felt like a bonus since I didn't expect to have one at all. Okay, so last few details to point out. We have this little wicker chair here that I picked up at the consignment store very shortly after we moved here. It was one of the first things furniture-wise that we bought. And then I've shown you in previous places in the house that we have several of these old cider press pieces here. This one has been made into a plant stand. And then this plant came with the house. I simply switched it out to a different pot. So really great to have just inherited a bunch of plants to cozy up the house. All right, and very last wall we will tackle in this room. So this room is on the ground floor. We are treating this as an accessible space. It was important to us to have a room that our friends and family could stay in regardless of their abilities. So no thresholds in this room, and allows for you to access the whole downstairs. Now, this room looks out onto the front courtyard, which is awesome, but it also has a set of shutters which allows you to close off the space for privacy. But yeah, it is a beautiful view of the courtyard. This little school desk, antique school desk, was left by the previous homeowners. And then I am making sure that every room has its own water pitcher and glasses so that you don't feel like you have to get up and wander around at night. Everything is there and at the ready. So I picked up this tray secondhand, and then I sewed a quick liner for it out of just some of my scrap fabrics. So that was a quick and easy project. This little painting was €1 that I found at a consignment store. Then we've got a little coat rack for some storage in case it's like rainy and you need a place to hang raincoats or any of that kind of stuff. This was a rusty, dusty mess when we found it. I think we paid €2 for it, and then we cleaned it up, sprayed it out, and now we've got a great little coat rack for the room. And I will say, I love the lighting in here. It is very moody, and I really like it. It's very chill. And then this wall does have a unique feature. You may have spotted it when I was showing you guys the bed. So it's got a series of glass blocks, and these are actually wine bottles that have been embedded in the walls. So just kind of a unique touch that the previous homeowners added. And as you will start to see as we show you more bedrooms, we have included night lights in all of the bedrooms. They're motion activated, so it's nice and dark when you don't need them, but as soon as you stand up to go to the bathroom or whatever, they quickly kick on with some backlit light, something soft, so that you can easily navigate around the space. And this bedroom has direct, easy access to a bathroom down here on this floor. So as I mentioned in a previous video, you will notice, or may have noticed, that there are actually 2 separate doors to this room, one here, and if we spin around, a second one over here. So I'm going to do a separate video sometime very soon, show you a little more about the layout of this ground floor, and kind of show you what is so cool about this setup. So anyway, I probably need to go jump in the car to go pick up Aaron's family, but I hope you have enjoyed today's bedroom tour, and I'm excited to have finally been able to reveal the color to you guys.